Welcome, class of 2025. And I'll tell you, 2024 is one thing, but for some reason, when you hit that quarter of a century mark, it just seems kind of monumental that here is the class of 2025. It's very exciting, and we're really looking forward to working with your students. There's a lot of information to go through, and I know that we're just kind of giving you that first big overview, and then we're going to get you a lot of more details about these different things through your questions and through some other opportunities on our website and individually. So thank you so much for bearing with us with all this information. We are looking at the questions that you put in on the form, and we're looking at the questions on the chat, and we will be putting in the answers and having that posted so you can go back to it. So real quick timeline of what you can expect between now and when school starts, August 11th. Hard to believe it's going to be here so quick. We are going to the middle schools to do the course registrations. The counselors will be physically at the middle schools. Obviously, we are going to use all precautions in meeting with your son or daughter, and we are going to meet with them one-on-one because sometimes it's just easier, especially at this age when this is such a big deal going to high school. Sometimes it's just better to meet with them one-on-one, face-to-face, and let them know all the information that they're just dying to know about making that leap to high school. So we will be there beginning March 3rd. We'll be there through March 10th, be at different schools on different days. So if you're planning on school choice for coming to Martin County High School, there are 2 applications that are required. You can find them at martinschools.org, and you can check out our signature programs right there on that website. August 10th is freshman orientation. We do a great job with that. The students get to come, pick up their schedule. They get to go from classroom to classroom, find out where things are, so that first day of high school, they feel confident coming in with all the other upperclassmen, knowing where they're going and what they're doing. I really enjoy the way we handle freshman orientation here at Martin County High School. So we want your students to start with the end in mind. When we're working out a schedule for them, it's not about what do they want to do today, but what do they want to be able to see in their future? And believe it or not, it really does start in the 9th grade. I know that sounds crazy that, 4 years away from now, we have to start with a plan now, but we do because we want them to have the strongest footing. So they need to know their requirements for graduation, make sure they know that if they're on track, what their grade point average is, what credits they've earned. They need to know those things along the way. We put a lot of things in place to help them find that information, whether it's on focus or whether it's through meeting with their counselor meetings in the classroom. This is something that we really feel strongly about, is that we want the students to know exactly what their goal is and how they're going to reach that goal from day one. Now we know that plan might change a little along the way as they go. We expect that, but we want to help them with that. It's great if they can start with 3 possible career options, kind of knowing what it is they might want to do. We have some great options listed here, but regardless of whether they're going to a state college, going to a university, maybe they're planning on going to the military, or maybe they just want to start working a job first and then make some decisions about their future later. We still want to make sure that we can help them gather that information and make the best plan possible, even starting right now. So here are some programs that we have here at Martin County High School. I know you've already heard about the Cambridge program a little bit earlier this evening. Some of our CTE programs, of which we have the auto collision, paint and body. These are signature programs for which students can apply to for school of choice. The culinary program, digital photography, sports rec entertainment marketing. That rec is recreation. That's business, but through the slant of sports, recreation, entertainment. The Academy of Computer Science, which goes all the way through AP computer classes, and the Academy of Future Educators. These are our current signature programs. And of course, if they want to apply for those programs, those applications are part of that web page that we just discussed on the previous slide. So the Cambridge program, I know you've heard a lot about it already. We're excited about it. This next year, we're going to be graduating our first class of Cambridge diploma students. So it is very exciting, lots of great potential for students in that program, the possibility of the Top Bright Future Scholarship. And I know that some people were asking about how they earn college credit through the Cambridge program. Well, they earn college credit in the same way they would through the AP program. They take the test at the end of the year, and depending on the score of their test, that will determine what college credit they can get. Usually the higher the score, it makes a difference on which college credits each of the universities will award them based on that test score. So AP and Cambridge are very similar in that vein. So as far as the Cambridge program is concerned, we've got the Bright Future Scholarship, the possibility of some college credits. Those are all great, but they also have great opportunities to prove themselves, to get in with like-minded students, prepare themselves for the future and what they're planning on doing through a university slant. And these classes are compatible with other programs. So if you choose to be in the Cambridge program, or if you choose to be in the AP program, those programs are compatible with doing a CTE class. They can still take automotive, they can still take AVID, they can still take dual enrollment. So these programs are not all or nothing, they are compatible with each other. If you take a look at this screen for ACE, this is kind of a little bit of a viewpoint of what's going to happen over the next few years for the ACE program. We are adding classes each year through the Cambridge program, so you might see some new ones come up over the course of the next few years. But the two that they would need to take as a freshman would be the English general paper, and then they would also need to take either thinking skills or media studies, and that is kind of dependent on their level of math skill. For the Cambridge program, the success of our students, we're very proud of. What you'll see down here is the general paper, the percentage of students who earned a passing score, and those are the students who are qualified for potential college credit. So 89% of our general paper students, that's great. Media studies of 82% and thinking skills of 78%. Our students are continually taking these courses and doing well in them, and this first round of testing really is very positive and we're excited about it. The program's growing. We started with 106, went to 206, and we're still looking at applications as we speak. So if your student wants to get involved, now's the time. Check out those applications on our website. So the other program, the other A program, we got a bunch of A programs, AP and AVID. The AVID program is Advancement via Individual Determination, which is a great program for students who are looking to expand their opportunities, try to grow into even more than where they are today. Those students who have all this potential and they're just not sure which direction to go with it, they're going to learn about that growth mindset, making sure that they're setting goals, achieving those goals in reference to not just their own personal life, but also their academic life, their selections as far as universities are concerned. A lot of great things happening in our AVID program. Our students just really are thriving there. And we're hoping that we have students who might be able to do more than one of these programs because they actually do work well together. So you heard us talk about career tech classes. A lot of times they're referred to as CTE. Our CTE classes are wonderful programs that really give students some hands-on experience, hands-on training, and really prepares them for their future. And you might notice here the little snippet that we have from this previous research study that shows that so many jobs are requiring that students not only have a 4-year degree, but they also are requiring that students have those skills and training that you might not necessarily get just through a 4-year degree alone. Our career tech classes have a lot of opportunities for our students. So if you look here, you'll see that students who take our career tech classes, if they pass the industry certification exam that they have the opportunity to take through those courses, they can get free college credits just by having that certification. Also, there is a possibility for them to substitute a math or science credit with their certification. Some students choose to do that. Some students don't need it because they're already accelerating on their own. So, but it is an opportunity for them. All right, big question. How are your students going to select their core courses? We want your students to select the classes that are best for them. This is not your schedule, parents. This is your student's schedule. This is not the teacher's diploma, it's the student's diploma. It's not the school's university or college or career or future, it's theirs. And they need to make choices for things that they're going to invest in, that they're going to commit to, that they're going to say, hey, I really want to do this. We want them to buy in to do the things that speak to them, but that we know we're guiding them to where their strengths are, we're guiding them to where their success is going to be, but we don't want them to feel overwhelmed either. We want them to stretch. We want them to try to do things that are going to push them to that next level, but we don't want them to go overboard and be overwhelmed. So in that vein of challenging themselves, here are the options that we have. We have the honors courses. We have ACE courses, which is the Cambridge program we've discussed. We have advanced placement courses, and those are the courses through College Board that the students can take the test at the end of the year to earn college credit, much like the ACE. And then there's dual enrollment, where the students can take a course at the local state college through IRSC. They earn credit at the high school, and they earn credit at the college towards their diploma there, hence the word dual enrollment. So all of these programs have great options, and one might be great for your student. It might not be great for the next student. So we want to find what fits your student, but we also want to find things for them to stretch, grow, reach, and get the best that they can out of high school. Here's our course selection form. Your students will be receiving this at the schools, at the middle schools. It will be reviewed by their core teachers, their language arts teacher, math, science, history. They will be reviewed by those teachers with recommendations being made. And then that form will be given to us, and we will go over it with them when we meet at the middle schools coming up. You'll notice that there are, mostly on the left-hand side are the academics, and then on the right-hand side are your signature programs at the top. Those are the ones that anyone can choose, but those are the ones that if you're looking for a choice program, those are the ones to choose from. Fine art electives, there is a fine art required for graduation. The practical arts and career tech, those are the ones I was just talking about that come with certification possibilities. Other electives and PE. So here's how we put together your schedule. Teachers make recommendations, and they're going to make those recommendations based on a variety of things. Then you're also going to select your elective preferences in order 1 through 5. What we do is look at your number one choice, and we try to work that into your schedule as much as humanly possible. But then we might have room for a second or a third, depending on what you have for academics. We need you to choose 5 electives, because even though you're probably not going to have room for 5 electives, as a matter of fact, I can tell you for sure, you're not going to have room for 5 electives. We need to have backups, because what if for some reason there's a conflict and you have 2 classes that only meet at the same time? Or maybe we've got so many people selecting this one class, we don't have room for everyone. We need to know what that next choice would be. We don't want to randomly pick something for you. So we want you to pick it for yourself by giving us 5 good solid electives. Number 1 is your top, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So once we get all of your selections, we're going to build a master schedule based on what you need and what you want, and try to meet the needs as closely as we possibly can. So a couple important notes. Students have to have a full schedule to meet the needs of their diploma track. Our students are all looking to earn a standard high school diploma, and we want to make sure that we're meeting that. Course selections are for a full year. Don't randomly select something thinking, oh, I'll just drop it partway through. We're not able to do that. There's a lot of things that go into place with your schedule, and we need you to know that you need to select a course, understanding that it's a full year commitment. So please choose carefully. So all of our courses are subject to availability based on student participation. Fancy way of saying, if only 3 students sign up for a class, we're probably not going to be able to offer that class. So unfortunately, if you're one of those 3 students, we'll have to not schedule you for that class and find your next elective. Again, that's why it's important that we have those 5 selections in order of preference. So here's a sample daily schedule, and this is not in stone for any one person, but we have 7 periods. 5th period is lunch. It's not necessarily elective. You could have math in 5th period. You could have English in 5th period. But just for example, you would have period 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you get to period 5, that's where we have our lunches. So you might get to periods 1, 2, 3, 4, go to lunch, and then go to your 5th period. Or you might go periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to lunch, and then go back to 5th period. Or you might do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to lunch, and then the next class, the next thing you'll move to is period 6. So depending on how your lunch works out, it's based around period 5. Our schedule goes from 8:20 in the morning till 3:05 in the afternoon. We're not anticipating any changes at this time. ClassLink. You're all familiar with ClassLink. When you log into ClassLink, that's how you can access a lot of different apps that we use. And you are going to use ClassLink to get through Focus for checking your grades, your assignments. Your Google Classrooms are going to have assignments and supplemental materials, but Focus is also a really great checking point. So if you're checking Google Classroom and you're checking Focus, you are in a great place. Your ClassLink will have all your class books, your workbooks, all the materials you're going to need are going to be right there in that Google Classroom and through ClassLink. We're trying to streamline it so everything you need is in one-stop shopping. So parents, if you are not currently signed up for Focus, you can sign up for parent access to Focus. Matter of fact, we recommend it. Great way for you to follow up on grades and attendance, check to make sure everything is correct for your student as far as their information there. So there are instructions on our website. Please make sure that you have the information at the bottom of this screen to get to your Focus Access as a parent. If you already have Focus Access now, it's going to roll right with you into high school, so that's not a problem. Here's a little quick picture of where to find it on our Martin County School District. And back to our diploma types. We have two different kinds of diplomas. The state of Florida says that the standard diploma can come in two different flavors, so to speak. You have the 24 credit option, which has kind of been traditional, where the students take their 4 English, 4 math, 3 science, 3 social studies, 1 credit of PE, 1 credit of fine art, and then they have electives to total 24. Now, if you look at the 18 credit option, that's almost exactly the same. 4 English, 4 math, 3 science, 3 social studies, a fine art. You do not have to take PE, and you don't have to take as many electives. This 18 credit option is for students who maybe they want to accelerate and be done a little more quickly. They want to be done in maybe 3 years. Maybe a student who moved in from a different place and they're a little older, or maybe for some reason they got behind and they want to move forward faster, or maybe you know that your family has some type of plan in the future that your family might be moving and you want to go ahead and accelerate graduation. So there's probably 100 different reasons why someone might choose either the 24 or 18 credit option. 24 is pretty much what we've always done, but if it doesn't fit your family, then you have the right to choose. The 24 credit option is usually the option that most students who are college bound will follow, just because it gives them the opportunities for expanded academics, which the universities are looking for, and it gives you options for expanded electives to kind of maybe direct you in a direction for your future. If you have questions about these options, we would be glad to speak with you, because for as many different people who are on this program right now, there's that many different situations and questions and options, and we'd be glad to talk with you through them all. So, testing, I know, the big T word. The testing in high school, similar to what they've been experiencing in elementary and middle school, we still have testing for math and testing for English throughout high school. But here's how it's broken down now that you're at this final stage. So Algebra 1, Geometry, Biology, and US History are the mandated state exams. They're end of course exams. The grade for those courses is calculated with semester 1 is 35%, semester 2 is 35%, and then you add in the end of course exam and you have 30%. So 35, 35, and 30, that makes the 100% for the ending score in those courses. Algebra 1 is required for graduation, the EOC, and then the FSA ELA, the reading or writing, the one that's taken in 10th grade, is required for graduation. So we've got the 4 EOCs, one of them being algebra that's required for graduation, and then another one that is the FSA ELA for graduation. There will also be some other progress monitoring exams over time, and I know that your students have already been experiencing those through elementary and middle school. That's a way for us to make sure that they're on track, that they're understanding the material, and that we have them on the right path. All right, believe it or not, 2025 is going to be right around the corner. I know it feels like forever away, but you're going to blink and you're going to be ordering a cap and gown. So we want you to be college ready, we want you to be graduation ready, and we want you to be career ready. So if you're looking at being college ready, you need to take your academics all 4 years. Take a look at what those colleges are requiring for their applicants and making sure that you're planning for that. Take those upper level courses, the honors, ACE, AP dual enrollment. Earning A's and B's, that's your best way to be college ready. The universities are looking for students who have a 3.0 GPA and above. The PSAT is offered every year to grades 9, 10, and 11. Great way for you to take the test during the school day here and practice for taking the SAT when you get to 11th and 12th grade. If you're looking to go straight to a career after high school, there are ways that we can help you be career ready. The GPA is important for some of those programs because they're limited as far as how many students are in there, and we're looking for students with a minimum of a 2.0 grade point average for many of these career programs. So keep those up. If you want industry certification, let's say you want to be certified in Photoshop, then we've got classes for that. If you want to be certified in something with automotive, we've got classes for that. There are all kinds of opportunities that we have through those CTE programs. Check your elective guide, pages 6 and 7. That's going to give you some great information. When the time comes around, sign up for the ASVAB, the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT. Those tests are great indicators of what you're good at and maybe what plans you might want to be considering for your future. You'll be seeing these posters all around. Our vision is that every student will graduate college and career capable. We know that every student has it within themselves to be capable of these next steps, and that is our vision of making that happen for your son or daughter. School's not just about what you're doing in the classroom, but it's also about those activities, getting involved, doing community service, joining sports, joining the clubs, finding out what meets your needs as far as you as a person, finding out what things that you are good at and things that you want to give back to with the community. We have a lot of opportunities. Please check our freshman showcase guide for some of those opportunities. Please check our website, get involved. Making sure you're communicating with the school is so important. I don't know how many times I've spoken to parents who are like, I just checked their grades a couple weeks ago and then all of a sudden, bam, they're struggling. Well, it happens. I mean, it can happen quickly. So make sure that you're communicating with the teachers. Check Focus, check those Google Classrooms. Just be an advocate for your child. Students, be an advocate for yourself. If you see that a grade is missing in a grade book, talk to your teacher. Say, hey, I thought I turned that in, but I want to make sure that you have it because my grade is not in there yet. Have those conversations. Don't just assume that it's all going to be okay and then be surprised down the road. We have so many opportunities between Remind, between Focus, the Google Classrooms for you to communicate. Please take those opportunities. We want to communicate with you. Mental health in schools. I know that there's been a lot about this right now. With all the COVID issues that have been happening in our community and our world these days, a lot of talk has been going around about mental health. Well, it's a real thing. And when we see students every day who are struggling on one level or another, it might be just a little bit where they're like, I'm a little concerned. Or it might be someone who has a real problem at home with someone who has a compromised health situation and it weighs heavily on them. And maybe it's keeping them from doing well in school. We really want to help all of our students, all of our families. So the Florida DOE has mandated that we have 5 hours of mental and emotional health information relayed to our students. We do this through our Tiger Success schedule where we meet once a week, each of our students with one of their teachers, where we can relay that information, give them resources, give them opportunities to find help, to reach out for help. We talk about where they can go, people they can talk to, safe places, safe people, maybe even how they can learn how to talk to their parents better. Sometimes it's difficult. So we do have a lot of opportunities here. If you have questions about this, please reach out and ask. We'd be glad to talk with you about it. So some of the issues that we're seeing our students struggle with, these are real things. This is not just something we put on a slide. This is stuff we see every day in the guidance office. And there might be some things on here that you see at home and maybe some things that I don't see because the student hasn't come to me, or you might not see because your son or daughter just really wants to be strong, but maybe a teacher's seeing a little glimpse of something. And so we want to make sure that we are all working together to make sure that our students are strong and healthy, because strong and healthy students are successful students and we want them to have a great life ahead of them. Martin County is a great place to be, but we know they're going to graduate and go out in the world. So thank you for sharing your student with us, and thank you for partnering with us on some of these things that are sometimes difficult to talk about. Our guidance office, we have a website, lots of information there. scholarship information, which it's not too soon as a ninth grader to check out scholarship information. Even if you're looking to see, hey, what's ahead and what can I be planning for? What kind of things should I have on my resume so I'm ready when the time comes? There's volunteer information, lots of resources, the graduation requirements, bright futures information, and tutoring information. And some of these things will change often. Every year we get an update from the Department of Education and we update our website as well. So please go there and check it out. Here are our school counselors. If you are in this session, you are probably with either Ms. Thompson or Mrs. Newton or myself, but maybe you got into the wrong session and so you might be from the top of the alphabet up there on that top row. But please give us a call or an email. Right now we're in and out going to the middle school, so obviously we're not going to be at our desk at our phone. However, we're an email away if you want to just drop us a line and we will try to get back to you as quickly as we can in between going to the schools in the next couple weeks. All right, volunteer hours. I know it's time to get started on volunteer hours. Anything that students start with volunteering the summer after 8th grade, that's when they can start counting volunteer hours and submitting them. The volunteer hour information is here. You'll be able to come back and check it out. Volunteering is not required for high school graduation. However, it is required for the Bright Teacher Scholarship. It is required for some other scholarships, and we want to make sure that we are giving you this information to fulfill this really important piece of that future for you. All right, how to be successful in high school. I wish I could give you the magic potion, the magic formula, the magic wand, but it really comes down to some basic things. Be in school every day. Turn in assignments when they're due. No zeros. Those are the big ones right there. And how do those top 3 things happen? Those top 3 things happen because of the next 3 things. If you're staying organized and you're checking focus and you're being responsible for your own success, those top 3 things are going to happen. I have made this guarantee to my students for the last 20 years of being a guidance counselor. If you will be in school every day, turn in all of your assignments, you will not fail. It's just that easy. What I find is that students are not turning things in, and that zero just zaps the life right out of their grade, or they miss a day and they get behind, and then it just snowballs. So we know that people get sick, but the best you can be in school every day and turn in every assignment, no zeros, you're going to be the most successful. All right, there's a parent survey. Please check the link and fill out the parent survey. That'll help us with doing things better for you and also answering your questions. We've got some Martin County High School reminders. Those have also been put in the chat. Got the Google Classroom for the class of 2025. You can also follow us on Instagram. I know, lots of information, lots of opportunities. Here is when we are coming to you. Our middle school visits start next week. We'll be at Hidden Oaks the 3rd and the 4th. We'll be at Murray Middle School on the 8th, and at Anderson Middle School on the 9th and 10th, and at Stewart Middle School on the 26th. If you're online here and you're at a private school, we haven't forgotten you. March 25th from 5 to 6:30 in Martin County High School Media Center, we will be meeting with our students coming from the private schools. We really appreciate you guys coming out tonight. I know it's a lot of information. I was trying to talk fast, but not too fast. We hope you got the information you need. If you have questions, we're going to leave the presentation up for a few minutes. I'm not going to stop it right away so that you have a minute to put in your questions on the chat. If you're not able to get your question in on the chat, then you are welcome to go out to the link to our frequently asked questions link for the Google form. Put in your questions there. We want to make sure that your questions are answered. So we look forward to seeing you guys at the middle school very soon. Thank you so much for coming tonight.